Today we are going to be talking about automation. We're going to be kind of combining everything we've learned so far in terms of bringing in MIDI recording, adding drums to that, and then adding on automation, which is being able to change the volume and the panning of your tracks over time. So we're going to be doing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star this week. So you can see here's the melody line right here. Here are the individual notes, just in case you are not quite adept at reading sheet music yet. And then the chords are going to be along the top here. All right, so that'll kind of help you along here. So let's go ahead and jump into our project now. So here's my new project. I'm going to start with an instrument. I'm going to start by labeling my project Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. All right, let's start with our melody instrument because that'll kind of be helpful right off the bat. Last time I chose woodwinds, so this time I'm going to choose brass. Trumpet sounds good. A little higher. Yeah, so I'm 5 octaves up, and I'm playing Z through N here. C, C, G, G, A, A, G, F, F, E, E, D, D, C. All right, let's do this in time now. Let's go back down to like 80 beats per minute. All right, here we go. The metronome's not playing. That's very important. All right, try this again. 3, 4. All right, so you can go through, quantize this, label your tracks. All right, let's add, I'm just gonna kind of move through this quickly. So the next instrument I'm gonna add is my piano, playing chords, just like we did before. A little too low. So now we're gonna add in the F chord, which is built on the F note right here, which is your V key. If I play V, N, and comma, F, A, and C, that makes the F chord. Okay, so we got C and G, which we played for Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now we're gonna add in the F chord, which is V, N, and comma. All right, you can see what they look like on the piano keyboard. All right, let's go ahead and record. Here we go. All right, now we're going to add our bass once we label this piano. One thing you might want to do periodically is save your work so you don't lose anything. In case your computer blows up, it'll always be saved on the cloud. All right, let's bring in our bass now. Bass, let's keep the 62 is fine. Now let's go ahead and bring in our drums. All right, now that we've got kind of our melody line, we've got our piano chords, we've got our bass. Now the thing that's really missing is our drums. So I'm going to use the drum machine. Since we don't want this to sound too electronic right now, we're just going to use an acoustic kit here. Oops, don't want to delete everything. I just want to delete these guys right here. All right, so right now I've got the 808 kit, which is the default. I'm going to change that to a rock kit. All right, and I'm going to delete some of these. Let's see how I want this. I want my kick on 1 and 3. And I want my snare on 2 and 4. I'm going to add one more kick just because I think it's going to sound cooler with that. Doom, ka, doom, doom, ka. Kind of like a Queen, We Will Rock You kind of a sound. And let's bring that in now. I got my cursor, my playhead right here at the beginning of the song. I'm going to click on Add B and drag that all the way out. All right, that sounds good. And now let's play it. All right, hearing that? Yeah, so obviously the drum pattern gets really stale after a while. So you may want to create some different patterns and, you know, just to make it maybe halfway through, change it up a little bit, maybe go to a 16th groove. Put these in here. Maybe some toms. Let's go ahead and throw that in there just to make it interesting. Yeah, that works. Got it. Okay, so now we got our 4 basic tracks here. We got a drum set, we got our melody, we've got piano kind of providing some harmonic chords in the background, and we've got our bass, okay? Kind of essentials to any kind of standard progression here, or arrangement, I should say. We don't really have anything that's sustaining. I would probably like to add, if I were going to do this, you know, for real, I'd probably add strings or some other kind of sound that's more sustaining, just to make it interesting that way. But for sake of time, let's just go ahead and move on to the main topic of today, which is automation. And automation, like I mentioned at the outset, is changing volume or other parameters throughout a song, or on one track. And the automation is found right here. All right, so this little button with little lines and dots on it is going to be our automation pane. All right, so when I click on that, now I've got some lines that show up. And if I start clicking around here, it's going to add high and low dots wherever I click. All right. Now this is going to be super weird, so I'm going to make it a little more streamlined than this, because that I just want to kind of show you what it will do. Just be really dramatic here to prove my point. All right, we do this with all the instruments if you want. Just clicking anywhere at random right now, but it's kind of fun to kind of play around with these. You don't ever want to do it quite like this in this haphazard motion, but something to do. Okay, so now when I play this, skip ahead to the end here. So you notice that the volume of the instruments now are changing depending on what we've instructed them to do in advance. And so this is a way to kind of set up your mix in real time. So if you want a certain section to be louder than the others, then, you know, for instance, if we want when we go to the middle part of this, like the second drum pattern, we want that to be a little louder maybe, so we might want to boost that up. We might want the melody line to get bigger kind of in the middle to the end, and then kind of have it taper off as we get to the end. Lots of different options here, but it's really up to you as far as how you want. You can kind of fade everything out at the end, which is kind of nice. Provides a nice little fade out. Okay, so now we've got some volume control in our arrangement. And once we play it back, it's going to take into account all those decisions that we already made. The last thing I want to show you is automating pan. Okay, remember pan is the switch from left to right in the stereo spectrum. So when you listen to headphones, you can hear the sound kind of going in and out of each ear when you do this. And you can set this up the same way just by clicking, creating, these dots are called nodes, N-O-D-E. And it's just going to, however you want to make this happen, you can still on volume. You want to make sure it's set on pan and not on volume. You only have two options in BandLab. With other, once you start to add effects in, you can start to do some more, but we're going to talk about that later on in the semester. All right, and then change the panning here. So now you know how to do automation. Really easy, just click on this automation pane right here, which opens up this. Now you won't be able to edit the MIDI just like you could before until you click on this automation pane again. And then if you double click on the MIDI region, now it shows up down here and you have the opportunity to adjust your MIDI data right there. If you need to make any changes, then you're good to go there. All right, so go ahead and complete this assignment. You're gonna do piano, bass, drums, and a lead instrument, plus adding in automation to fill it out. All right, and if you want to sing along, go ahead. All right, thank you very much.